my goodness. This is gonna be a messy season. I haven't seen nearly enough Benedict though. Hi YouTube friends, it's Trish here and welcome to my little corner of the internet. This is present me and I'm hopping in for a few minutes just to set the stage because it's a bit of an update to explain this reaction style commentary video. So I recently, as in a couple of days ago, got back from a trip to Guatemala. I was there for 9 days, I think. I don't know. I was there for quite a while. So before leaving, I actually filmed a reaction to me watching episodes 1 through 4 of Bridgerton season 3. And I even was able to edit a video for episodes 1 and 2, which is actually what you're about to watch now, except it's going to be even more edited down because a night or two before my trip, I had uploaded it on to YouTube and then later on noticed that there for some reason like the last 15-20 minutes just were cut off. And so I think at that point there was like one click. So if you were that one person, thank you so much for clicking. And I'm so sorry that if you did manage to watch through to the end that the ending wasn't there. So that night I had taken it off YouTube so that in the morning I could try re-uploading it because I know that I was having space issues on my computer and I wondered if that played a factor into it. So the next morning I go to delete some what I thought were previous videos to make space to then upload episodes 1 and 2 again. And I accidentally deleted the screen recording file of episodes 1 and 2. And at that point, I had a like busy work day ahead of me and not to mention packing and other things going on that I just got super overwhelmed and decided, okay, this is going to be future Trish, as in now me. It's gonna be her problem. So I edited it down even further so that I could just get some highlighted clips from the episode to pop in for this reaction. So what you're about to see is my reaction and mostly commentary to episodes 1 and 2 of season 3 of Bridgerton. And I will be moving on to edit episodes 3 and 4 soon, and hopefully we'll have that up early next week. I'm aiming, we'll see. And that one might be slightly longer reaction wise to this one. But what I noticed as I was watching the show is I would do some commentary thoughts while watching it, but also would pause after the episode and sort of recap what I had watched and stuff like that. So that's sort of how these videos are gonna be, and I hope you enjoy. And so without further ado, let's go back to past me and watch episodes 1 and 2 of Bridgerton season 3. Of course they had to make an appearance. Enjoy, guys.
You are flowers in bloom, each one of you.
I feel like all I can do is just sit and watch because it's so strange seeing Colin in this light. In the past, I feel like they talked about him being a ladies' man, but you never really saw it. Now all of a sudden it's just scene after scene. It's a montage of flattery. Like, his heart was broken and he turned into a playboy. What just happened?
Yes, of course.
Let's go, Pen. I hope her and Eloise make up, but that's a tough ask because she literally wrote something that put Eloise in scandal. And I guess that's how her and Cressida ended up being friends, was Cressida was nice during the summertime, but what are Cressida's motives? Like with Cressida, it could be keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. Or Bridgerton would be competition, regardless if she's someone who likes to take part in society or not.
Desire.
Don't our hobbies
What do you despise?
speak a lot about us?
What makes you tick?
Why are they asking these questions in such a weird way? So this is about Francesca finding out who she is this season. What a, like, I get the question, but how do you distill yourself down to a sentence or a phrase, and this is who I am? I don't know who I am.
In stock of the time, even when I changed my entire wardrobe. It just never occurred to me that you, of all people, could be so cruel.
He needed to hear it. And honestly, she needed to say it. She always uses this quill to say all of this stuff, but she really doesn't stand up for herself and speak her mind. Or when she does, she's not really heard. There's also that, like with the family, I don't think she's really ever hid how she felt about certain things. She may mutter it, but it's there.
Such a beautiful home. Good day.
Oh no. Seduce him. That's the way to get out of any situation, isn't it? In that time, it's all the woman had. Her charm and her wit. Not too much has changed, honestly.
I'm sorry for intruding.
It's alright.
He still doesn't know why Eloise and her are not friends anymore. Like, he tried to ask, but your sibling isn't friends with this person anymore. Granted, of course, like, he's his own person and he can make his own decisions, clearly. But wouldn't that really raise a flag of some sort? What's he gonna do when he finds out that she's Lady Whistledown?
People would be quite interested in today's issue, Penelope. Lady Whistledown has a good deal to say about you precious Bridgertons. Colin, in fact.
What does she do? Oh no, she wrote something bad about Colin. That's the thing, like, now that Eloise knows, why would Penelope write about any of them? Okay, going into episode 2, I don't even know really what to say. Episode 1 is always setting the stage. Let's go episode 2. My goodness. This is gonna be a messy season. I haven't seen nearly enough Benedict, though.
I hear my choice last year, Miss Edwina, has made a splendid match abroad.
What? Aw, so we're not gonna get a spin-off with her and Prince Friedrich? They've had such a long friendship.
Who should be afraid?
Gentle reader.
What is her plan? How's she gonna figure out who Lady Whistledown is? And what is she gonna do? Oh my goodness. Can you imagine this happening to you? He's gonna have to learn how to manage an estate. I wonder if Benedict is gonna help him now that he was doing it while Anthony was on, what's that called? Honeymoon.
Fully unnoticed.
That's the thing. He still doesn't like really see her as a young lady out in society because he doesn't grasp this whole like, you can't just spend time with her alone.
And the rest of your family?
Play playing cards in the garden. You've seen my family play Pall Mall. You know how competitive we are.
So he's taking her alone into a drawing room. Like, does he not? Okay, it's frustrating. Or do they each get their own study? I don't know, I find that highly doubtful. Okay, yeah, this is his. She's in his study? Isn't that like attached to his bedroom? At first I was like, that's such a light wrapping. I don't know if that's really helping anything.
Her husband, Penelope. It's so unlike her.
No, I'm only helping her find one.
Is that wise? What if anyone were to find out about your helping her?
She does not have any male relatives.
Yes, but you're an eligible suitor. It would not look right.
No, it would not. And that is why we're not telling anyone.
But yeah, Eloise still thinks that Penn aligns with her thoughts on society and finding a husband and all of that. But Penelope's always been slightly more romantic. In the beginning of the whole Marina, like, coming and then hearing about her beau and stuff like that, it's just sort of like, you could clearly see that, yes, she just was more romantic.
Yes. Miss Stowell, may I have the next dance?
Thing is, the ladies were raised just to get married, and the guys don't want to get married right now, and so it feels desperate when they just come onto them. You guys are playing with fire. You don't want to end up in a situation where he's forced to marry you.
She was at my house today.
Whatever for?
Oh, don't tell Cressida.
Is helping her look for a husband.
Oh my god, do not tell Cressida. She told Cressida. Bring K-pop to the dance floor. It's where it belongs.
What about you? Did you two?
Is this going to be their storyline the entire season? Who's popped out a baby?
Subtle than a man's. You see, when he inserts himself.
Inserts himself? Inserts himself where?
What do you do?
We kiss, and then he makes an odd sound, and then he goes to change his breeches.
His breeches remain on?
Of course.
Why must I be punished over and over?
Maybe I was expecting a little too much from them.
Especially someone who is so beyond hope of success.
Oh my goodness.
You're rather sad.
They just said that openly in front of her? Of course they did. But also, like, who told?
Yes. You have a visitor.
Is she for real? Befriend your ladies' maids, I suppose.
I bribed her to give us a moment alone.
Okay, that works too. I wondered if he was just gonna leave it at a peck, actually. Oh. Our feelings being awakened, is that what we're witnessing, Colin? Dum-dum. Oh, it's at the end. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you have it. Episode 1 and 2 of Bridgerton Season 3. I have to admit, it's not really catching my attention as much as I was hoping it would. But I suppose it's intriguing. I think it's just really difficult because so many of the characters that we've been watching since Season 1 have changed, some more drastically than others, albeit. It truly is everyone feeling just quite different. Granted, Penelope's doesn't feel too drastic to me, even though there is a difference over here. She is, to me, I feel like we've seen this mounting though, from season 1 through season 2, and now here at season 3, she isn't at home in her home. And now that she doesn't even have Eloise near her, and as she apparently used to go every Sunday for tea, like, she doesn't have that outlet. She needs to feel like she's living her own life, and unfortunately in that time the only way she can achieve that is to get married. And so of course she's at her wit's end, and she has all this money from Lady Whistledown, so she can just go and get new dresses herself, and live more to her own truth, which is really nice to see. And I was worried in the beginning with Eloise, now moving on, that they were dropping these hints that seemed like she was taking more part in society. She's reading Emma, which, I mean, Jane Austen, come on now. But that's for us romance girlies, and Eloise never felt like that type. And so this sort of dejected answer to Colin, in that, I mean, it's the reality of the situation, so it's better just to stay in that sort of thing, because thinking about such matters as women's rights and progressive living is a fantasy at that time. It's not something within grasp that can happen. So I get that. Still a little intrigued to find out how her and Cressida exactly became friends, but supposedly just, I guess, in the aftermath of the scandal at the end of last season for Eloise, Cressida was the only one to be friendly towards her, and it's just confusing on why. I feel bad because I also was like, Cressida, who did you tell and when? Because we didn't see it, but you know, that just goes to show you that it's not that you have to see it. You know how they say about, if you didn't see the death happen on screen, are you sure the character actually died? And usually they come up and it's like this big climactic moment later. So I feel bad because I also was thinking Cressida must have told somebody, but she didn't. So maybe she is turning a leaf and trying to be kinder. And that's going to take some time to adjust to, for herself even, because she had her moment in episode 1 where she still stepped on Penelope's dress. Like, I don't see the need to have to do things like that, especially if they view Penelope so low on the tier, you know. So then why even do or say anything towards her if you don't view her as a threat? Even then, like, that's just horrible. But if you're of that type of ilk, I suppose, why is that necessary? Lord Depling really just showed up for that one moment so far, so I don't know when he's going to make his appearance again. But really it's Colin that has been completely made over. And I spoke about this in one of my previous videos, because oftentimes you'll hear people say like, oh, the Bridgertons, they're such ladies' men and they have a way with words. And even when Colin had proposed to Marina, Violet was like, oh, I know that you were like, not courting her, but flirting with her, but you flirt with a ton of young ladies. And I just never really saw it. And now it's suddenly just almost every other scene, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Colin is now Mr. Hunk. And clearly he's just made himself over in these recent travels. And I get what he was saying with, when you're in a new place and nobody knows you, it's quite easy to reinvent yourself and just be like, yep, this is who I am. But to come back from your travels to a place where everyone has known you previously to be a certain way, and now coming back completely altered, I feel like that'd be a harder transition. But over here it was very much like, oh yeah, Which, I mean, he glowed up, right? So I feel like that would be easier, especially for the ladies to totally be on board with. And, you know, I get that. I think that he was really reckless in suggesting and doing these lessons. I don't know what I was expecting before to how it was going to start and how it was going to go. But yeah, meeting just the two of them, I mean, even meeting in the marketplace was pushing it. There were moments where you could see her lady's maid watching from the side and just sort of like really keeping an eye on them, because as an unmarried lady, I mean, they're both available and of age. And in that time, you were not supposed to just go off on your own. So him bringing her into their house, and granted he was like, oh, the house is empty, there's no one here, but there are servants there. So like someone could say and do something. So it really didn't have to be Eloise speaking about it with a friend and then someone else overhearing. It could have just been word of mouth through the help, getting it out there. So it's just interesting choice. I'm surprised that Penelope asked him for, no, I'm not surprised that Penelope asked him for a kiss. I kind of get it. Her own mother now is coming in and saying, why were you so stupid? Essentially, like, you're in your 3rd year. It hasn't happened yet. It's not going to happen. There's nothing of interest of you, apparently. And so why would you even think to get someone to help you find somebody? I just, oh my God. That was heartbreaking to see her sitting by the window and you see the daylight turn to night and she's just been there morose, and I know that feeling in different circumstances, but I know the feeling. So just feeling worthless. I mean, for her as a woman, her only worth is to get married, and she's not going to be experiencing that. And like I was saying before, at some point while watching, she does lean a bit more romantic because she's always had feelings for Colin. So, you know, she would be thinking about being in love and being affectionate with someone. And so now she just feels like there's absolutely no chance or opportunity for her, especially because everyone knows. And so she just desperately asks him to kiss her. And I'm glad he did, but yeah, I feel like now it's just gonna be like, ooh, that felt nice. Even though at the start of the episode they showed him in bed with 2 other girls, so clearly he has been with women. So for him, a kiss wouldn't usually mean much. I mean, I'm sure it meant something because this is Penelope, you know, and it's a weird spot for him to be in because she's his friend and that's all he's ever seen her as. So to be asked to kiss her had to be somewhat of a conundrum for him to be in on whether he really wanted to go forward with that. But she was so, I mean, yeah, desperate in the way she asked, and I don't want that to sound like an ick sort of thing. It's not. It's just there's no chance for her, and that's where she's at right now. And so, I mean, I get it, the real fear that, oh my goodness, could I possibly die before experiencing this? I had a tough time during my master's thesis and I had to withdraw twice. I had personal things going on, and then like just with me, myself, and how I viewed myself, but also my parents were getting a divorce, and it was just like all around there was a lot going on. And so I felt so worthless during that time. And this might sound super dark, but I went to a college that was hours away, and so I would be driving on the highway on the way back and would wonder, you know, if I were to get in and I've seen a couple freak accidents. So whenever that happened, or even just like on a regular drive, I would just wonder, oh my goodness, if I were to ram against this pole or get hit on the side or something like that, if something sudden were to happen and I were to die, I would die before finishing my master's. And like, I thought about this because for a while I would be at home and my project had passed, but I still had to finish a book, and I took a good year or something working on that because I didn't want to work on it. Like, I didn't want to look at it. It just held so many just hard times. And so yeah, it was in those times where I had my first job as a hostess during that time. So I'd like drive to work and just think about this, like, oh God, what if something were to happen and I never would have finished my thesis, and I have been in school for so long, and like, what a shame that would be. And then later on I was thinking about something else. So I get that desperation, that like weird fear. It's quite irrational, but it's very real to be so scared and worried that, oh my God, if something crazy were to happen and I die, and I would have died never experiencing this. And like, for me, education and getting a degree and everything was at the highest for what was expected of me, you know, so that was what my worth was in. And if I couldn't finish that, which, spoiler alert, I did. I'm not doing anything with that architecture master's, but it's there, rolled up somewhere. But yeah, it's, if I didn't finish that and something were to happen, my spirit or whatever would be devastated, I would think. So anyway, all that to say that I understand Penelope's desperation, and that's why I do say desperation, and I don't mean that in an ick sort of way, because I think that's what so much of, like how Benedict was looking at the ladies earlier in the night, and how I was talking about, oh my goodness, these girls are raised just to come out and find a match, but these guys do not want to get married right now. And so when they are approaching and talking, and it's very much an interview process in the way they ask things and speak on things, and then you realize that, oh my goodness, it's really coming off desperate. And that's like, oh, that's a bit much, and I don't want you near me, and please walk away now. So and then there's Francesca, who is now out in society, and poor girl, she tries to just have not even an amazing conversation, just a general conversation. She's just looking to connect with someone, just simply, and these guys are all just trying to turn it into passionate themes. And she's just not ready to talk in that sort of way. I mean, that would be so disarming to come into suddenly. Man, it is rough on these streets. And now it looks like Lady Danbury has gone and made her the diamond by pulling on the puppet strings of Queen Charlotte. So, oh my goodness, it's worrisome, because she didn't want to be in the attention and the spotlight. She was hoping just to find a match that she would be content with and get this over and done with. Poor thing. And how is this going to affect Eloise? Because her mom is letting her, like Violet's letting her just sort of do her thing. which is cool. We haven't seen her talk with anybody or be interested in talking to anyone. So now if Francesca is named the Diamond, it skipped a sibling and Eloise was that. Is that going to... I doubt that that would bother her, but I feel like the talk around would be annoying to deal with. But interesting start. I am still invested in all these characters. Kate and Anthony just full on disappeared. I guess that scene was them taking their leave for the rest of the season. But we didn't even see a scene where Anthony or Kate was telling Violet that, hey, you can continue on with this Viscountess. And now that Benedict was managing the estate while Anthony was on his honeymoon, he did decently. So he can continue on with that. And they're just like, okay, bye, we're gonna go for an extended holiday. Which good for them, but also, oh, I was hoping to see a little more. So hopefully they come back, because I love Anthony and Kate. Okay, I can't think of anything else to see. I might want to watch the next 2 episodes this afternoon, but I don't know when I'll be editing and getting these out. So bear with me because it may be some time. Like, I might be able to get this one out sooner, but the next one, we shall see. Editing is not my forte, and it is actually like 90% of this. So but I hope you enjoyed. I know that for most of it I was quite silent because I was just watching, but I spoke up here and there, so it'll probably be those thoughts sprinkled around. Less so reaction then? I don't know. I'm trying here. But tell me what you think about the first 2 episodes of Bridgerton season 3. If you watched on ahead, please don't tell me what happened. Remember that I have not read the books, so please don't spoil it for me. And but yeah, comment. Let's chat. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. And I think that's about it. Toodles. Oh, I didn't realize I was like holding it up here. Okay. Toodles.